Hello, today we have Brandon Barber with the Retirement Studio located here in San Marcos, Texas. Brandon and I have been in Provisors together almost a year. How long ago? Almost a year, yeah. And what I've learned is Brandon has an extreme passion for something a lot of people don't have. And that's okay because managing your 401k and your retirement is something that you want somebody to have a passion for. So, Brandon, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, a little bit more than who you are?
Cool. Absolutely. Well, I live here in San Marcos, Texas. I spent about 15 years in the payroll and HR technology world. In that world, I sold 401k plans from a technology perspective and always enjoyed it. I was selling a lot. I was enjoying it. I was living a great life here in town, but I always saw that there was such a problem in the 401k world. And it really came from advisors. There's a lot of advisors out there that don't focus on 401k plans solely. And the participants, they miss out on a lot. And so over and over again, I saw problems with 401ks. I saw a lack of advisor interactions with plans. I saw a lot of HR directors getting really frustrated with 401k and all the integrations and everything that you need. And so I took a big leap. I started as a side hustle and started building it out and developing the product and figuring out how we serve people really well in this space. And was able to leave corporate America last year, make the jump, and it's been an awesome year. I get to serve companies across Texas. We've now got clients. We got our first one in Hawaii, Oregon, California. We're now serving over 100 different plans across the country, and we're growing. We're hiring. We're getting more staff. We're growing, and it's really exciting. Yeah, we're getting to help a lot of people, and not only help the plan sponsors and the companies, but we get to help so many employees. I mean, I'm talking 10,000 plus employees I got to speak with in front of last year, and it's like, man, getting to share financial wellness, how money works, how, all the aspects of retirement and getting people to understand what their retirement number is. Man, it's awesome. It's really cool, the impact that we get to have.
Yeah, when you say you love it and you're excited, it makes me think of tech. And it's funny because I can be easily excited by tech. I mean, it's like a whirlwind of things. But what about it is your favorite part? What draws you into it like that?
Seeing the employee, like they're something flips for employees. Like when we're talking and man, I walk in the room or they walk in and they're like, oh my gosh, we got a boring 401k presentation. And I look like this. I'm usually like sitting on the table, like I'm talking, like, I try to get in a really comfortable position for them. I try to get them talking and engaged. And we start talking about some of these taboo subjects that everybody's only like talk to their, father and their brother-in-law about. And it's like, no, guys, let's talk about this. Like, what's your retirement age? Like, when do you want to retire? What does that look like? Do we know that a lot of people are struggling with finances? Yes. Do we know how money grows? No. Well, let's talk through some of these things. And man, like what excites me is like, I worked with the fire department here in San Marcos recently, and like seeing some of these firefighters for the first time, someone talking to them about money and them seeing like, hey, I'm going to be able to do this. I'm going to be able to retire one day. Like they throw their shoulders back when they're talking with you. Like they get this new level of confidence. And that's what I love. I love helping employees like see that level of confidence come out of a 20-minute meeting, 30-minute meeting. And now that employer has employees that actually visualize themselves as being able to retire from that company. How cool is that?
Yeah, I imagine like we're pretty financially transparent at Hill Country, and I think that's something. Like you mentioned, taboo. Like people don't talk about it. They act like it's got to be a secret. But like your friends and your and me as an employer, I want my employees to be successful. I want them to get a win. We do these things to help them, and your company's not going to be more stable than your least stable employee, right? Like, the more you can raise the foundation of your company, the more stable the employees will be. And they have their safety net and their retirement and they know where they're going, right? So I think that's a big part. You can kind of help give that direction to their finances. So I could definitely get that.
Yeah. One of my clients, he stood up at the end, the company owner, and at the end of the presentation, and he's like, guys, he's like, I want people in this room to retire from my company one day. And like him saying that and having an owner, a young owner saying, hey, like looking around the room and empowering his staff to be like, hey, if Social Security is there or not, like if pensions are there or not, if whatever's there or not, like if you work for me, you're going to be able to retire with dignity. Um, that's a that's a really cool thing that employers can feel.
Yeah, that is. You mentioned, I guess some of the bad advisors. How if I'm an employer, what would be some of my red flags, like, or something I should be looking for when I'm picking a new advisor that help us move forward?
Yeah, no, it's a great question, and uh, there's not a ton of bad advisors out there. A lot of people get into this role because they truly want to serve people. They want to serve people. They want to help. I think what I've seen as an issue is there's a lot of advisors who dabble in things that they shouldn't be dabbling in. I mean, think about that for yourself. How many IT people are dabbling in AI and server issues and things like that where they really shouldn't?
Yeah, I mean, that rings very true. We do the same thing kind of over and over again,
Yeah.
as much as we can for every customer. So we're not learning. We're not, and if we learn something, it applies down the stack really quickly, right? Like that's how you get good at something.
Of course.
So I guess, so what I think I hear you saying is like they may just jump around in what they offer or how they offer it. And
yeah, most advisors focus primarily, and there's some crazy stats out there, like 90+% of advisors make a majority of their income from wealth management, obviously managing it for the mass affluent, managing it for families and individuals. But there's not a lot out there that just focus on 401k plans, that just focus on 457 plans, that just focus on corporate retirement plans. And so the fact that we don't have to learn everything every time, and when a municipality calls me and we know how to run, which vendors work, which vendors don't, which vendors work well with their payroll system, like it just allows us to move so much quicker. Our clients aren't getting learned on. They're able to experience a better solution.
yeah, I get that.
And so, yeah, a lot of great advisors out there, but even the greatest advisors I know, I always tell them, it's like, guys, stop dabbling in the things that you shouldn't be dabbling in. Focus on what you're excellent at and find a partner, outsource, use me, however it is. Like, let's work together to make sure that we're serving people well. And what's awesome is I've had a lot of advisors who bring their 401k plans to me. They keep the wealth management. I'm doing the 401k plans. And it's like everybody wins at the end of the day. I don't want to touch that side of the house for these employees, for these individuals. I'm really just wanting to serve retirement plans.
Yeah, there's a kind of an analogy we use a lot. All-in-one printers, they may do everything, but nothing well. Right? Like they'll print, they might scan, but they may fax, but they don't do anything well. Everybody's been frustrated in all-in-one printer, right? Like, and that's why they sell dedicated scanners and fax. I mean, that's kind of an old thing, aging myself with, with that. But yeah, I think that, I get it. Like you get good at what you're good at and just keep getting better. Just like we have plan, act, learn, improve, repeat.
Yeah.
That applies to everything.
Yeah. And the advisor piece as well. Like, I mean, fiduciary is a really big word. Everybody's talking like, people, there's a lot of commercials out there. It's like, is your advisor a fiduciary? Like that is a very important role to understand, but you got to understand what that word means. And what the IRS says that word means. And also it's like, what side of the table is your advisor on? Is your advisor selling you a product that they're getting a commission on? Are they selling you a product that their company above them said, please sell one of these products? Or are they sitting on the same side of the table as you? And the way that we act is we don't get any commissions. We don't get any revenue from any of these providers. We just get a flat fee. And so we're able to sit on the same side of the table that our clients are sitting on. We're able to help make sure that their vendors are doing what they're supposed to do. We know this side of the table, and we're able to move so much more efficiently.
Yeah, I bet. So tell me about the best rewarding story you have in this. I mean, I feel your passion for helping people, but do you have like a moment when it was just downright awesome or, that sticks in your mind?
Yeah. So like pretty recently, actually your your last guest, I introduced them to this client, but I started working with a client down in Corpus Christi and gosh, at the beginning of this year. And so we took over. They were with an advisor who was dabbling in it. And they were with an advisor who wasn't focused on 401k plans, had never done education, never really did, committee meetings, never did quarterly meetings. They were getting a paycheck. They were just kind of a sleepy advisor at the wheel, which there's a lot of those out there. But we came in, we launched a lot of new initiatives. We started helping employees with estate planning, financial planning. We went on site to all of their 20 locations and talked to every single employee. And we did the same talk over and over again. And talking, we were able to get really intimate with these employees and, look at their numbers and do one-on-ones with these employees. I had 3 different employees at different locations pull up their statement, look at it, and start crying. And what they were crying about was it was the first time that they've ever seen that balance related to someone in their lineage, in their name. And to say like, hey, I have that much saved. And it's like, yeah, that's the power of this 401k thing. It's frictionless. Like it's able to come out of your paycheck. You're not having to think about it. You're not having to do it. And props to the last advisor. They got the company to do automatic enrollment, which is growing in popularity, but it's taken the friction out of enrolling in the plan. And these employees, they had gotten auto enrolled years ago. They never really thought about it. They didn't go look at it. And then when I was out there and we were talking about it, they're able to and look down and see 5 figures. They're able to see a comma. And I mean, they're able to see, we had one of them that was able to see 2 commas. And it's like, man, this is really cool. And that's the power of the 401k. There was a cool stat that was done back in a few years ago. Dave Ramsey's team, they did this big survey of millionaires in America. And out of the 10,000 millionaires they studied, over 80% said their primary driver of being a millionaire was their 401k. Mm. It's a very powerful vehicle, and offering it as an employer and getting it to work is a really, really unique and great benefit.
Yeah, I've talked a lot about it over the years with, employees and stuff. And I'm like, if you get a raise, put half of it in your 401k. Right. Don't get used to that money, because you get used to it and, you just start spending it. Right. It's easy. So the sooner you can do that, the better. I think you just get started. Like you get started, because the money today is worth a lot more tomorrow. And this kind of brings a personal question. My stepdaughter, she's 17 now, and she really wants to start saving. But 401k, she works at a pizza place.
Yeah,
right? There's no 401k for her, and she's on green light, and they have some options on there. I'm like, just hold on, let me go find out what you could do to start putting a couple $100, where
that's fun.
Yeah, and it's fun because be able to sit down with the kids and we start talking to them about it, and start putting it in their head, so that first time they get that offer, they take it to get a 401k. I mean, where do you, just for a kid like that, where would you tell her to go? I don't want to tell her no. Right? Yeah, start putting something somewhere.
Yeah, well, in today's world, as you know, there's so many services out there. There's a lot of low-cost services out there. You can go and start, get into an S&P 500 fund as a young kid pretty easily. Like, there's so many cool technologies. Happy to take a look at some of those with you. I'll tell you,
that's what Greenlight has, and I've been like, oh, I don't know, okay.
But it works, yeah, no, start it. I mean, because it's portable. It's, you can do it as a brokerage account. You can use it in you could set up a Roth IRA if she does have, if she's working at a pizza spot, she's getting some earned income, so you could do that.
The girl's got like $5,000 in her little savings account.
Yeah,
she don't like spending money. She's pretty good at spending everybody else's money, but she saves hers. Hey, you know what? Go get it.
I'll tell you what I did for my 7 and 11-year-old. I got 2 boys, and this kind of just shows back to how passionate I am about it. So we have something called 401 Dad. And basically, like, I don't want them, like, yes, the interest rate and how much you get back, like, that's all cool. But like, what I built for them is like, hey, let's just go. We went to the local credit union and got an account set up. And it was just real simple. Hey, every dollar you put in, Dad's going to match it 100%. 100%.
You
They're
want to
7
adopt
and
me?
11.
You
Yeah.
want to adopt me? I mean, that sounds pretty good.
It's a great match.
That's a good deal.
My 11-year-old was like, "Oh, that's cool, Dad. Thanks." And my 7-year-old, he's got my like sales ability in him, and he's like, "So, Dad, you're telling me that I put in $50, you put in $50?" I was like, "Yeah, that's what happens, bud." And I was like, "If I put in $200," and I was like, "I'll put in 200." He's like, "Then if I take that 250 out and put it back in," I was like, "No, that's not how it works." Yeah.
I do like Greenlight because in their savings you can put parent interest.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
you
that's
can
cool.
put 25%, 30, because if they got $100, they're not going to see 3%,
Yeah,
4%.
no,
Like,
but
it's on the radar.
It's just cool. Like, I mean, I purposely, like, I wanted somewhere they could physically walk into, they could see it, they could see the statement. Like, I wanted to start building that up. Ever since they were little kids, like, we've always had like 3 jars in their rooms or envelopes. And anytime they got money, it was like, okay, you can always do 3 things with money. You can spend it, you can save it, and you can give it. And every dollar that you have, you've got to mix it in these 3 categories. If you're spending it all and you're not saving or giving, you're going to be miserable.
Yeah.
If you're giving it all and you're not saving or spending, you're going to be miserable. You got to do a little bit of all 3. And so ever since my kids were little, they get birthday money. Like, I was just always annoying about it. I was like, all right, spend, save, give, spend, save, give. And so they've gotten in their head just this behavioral.
Yeah.
Like, and that's what personal finance is. It's so much behavioral, like what you do with it all. And so, yeah, just getting the kids to get in a rhythm with it all.
Yeah. I like that.
It's cool.
I think
a green light, you said, right?
Greenlight's pretty cool. It's like $5 a month, and you can set
Super
up
easy.
chores. They even like they got real jobs now, and they accept direct deposit, so their jobs can just pay there, and you can set up. Oh yeah, it's pretty nice. I mean, there's a
lot of cool things like that out there.
It's pretty nice, and they have an app on their phone, so they can nerd out a little bit about it, and see where their money is, and we get to see when they go to Chick-fil-A,
Yeah. I'll tell you, people are just talking about like savings more. There's a lot of talk around Social Security and what's going to happen in 2033 and all these things coming up. But it's like there's a lot of people talking about like, hey, we got to be better savers. Like the Secure Act came out and that had so many incentives to get plans in place. Like there's tax credits galore for small businesses to start plans.
Is there any rule to say as an employer that I can't gamify employees saving money? I mean, like, Gage saved the most this year, or there's no rules to be like.
Oh, there are rules. Yeah.
Okay. Well, okay. Yeah. Because I mean, like, our kids, we can have fun with them, right? And I think like you come hang out in my office, we try to have a little bit of fun around this stuff and like encourage this thing. So it's kind of a bummer. You can't.
Well, you can't do it in 401k plans, but you can do it outside of plans.
Yeah, we do profit sharing and that stuff, but that's blanket. Everybody, kind of gets the same. The company's point.
Yeah, just don't make it surrounding the 401k.
401k.
Yeah, you can do it in other ways. Be creative.
We'll just have like little candy jars with the most candy, but everybody knows the candy.
The candy means something else.
I don't know what we're talking about. But no, I think that's the challenge is to, I mean, to be honest, like, we get a new employee and we got 401k, it's no, like, please do it. There's not that you don't get in that rhythm of encouraging them to set themselves up,
I'll tell you, like, HR folks are like, hey, how do I get folks to do it? And I was like, just show them what their number means. Like say, hey, we do automatic enrollment. We do automatic enrollment at 5%. Automatic enrollment is so popular right now. It's required in all new plans. But pull that number up for that employee. Like on our website, theretirementstudio.com, in the top right-hand corner, you'll see under resources, the 401k calculator. And this is really cool. And like a couple steps you can type in, all right, how much you're putting away, what, your age and all that kind of stuff. And it will show you what that's going to mean for you at retirement, that number. Man, that is a number that sticks out.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, I think I've fallen victim to the PEO trap.
The PEO trap?
Yeah, I mean, with ADP, we got our 401k from ADP. It's just, they're like, you go this way because it's super easy, and they'll take, and I mean, be honest, it is easy, right? And I think that might, and for us being multi-state employees, like we need to be in a PEO. It's just, it checks a lot of the check boxes, use a PEO. So going on our own anymore, we did try to go back on our own, but it was killing us. The insurance alone was killing us. So, what do you have to say to those kind of people? Do you have any advice that where they're kind of in that PEO managed 401k?
You're not locked in on the 401k side. So the 401k inside of the PEO, you're in something called a multi-employer plan with the PEO, and it's bundled in. But you, like with any of these PEOs, you can go get a single employer plan or a pooled employer plan outside. And bring someone like me in. So like, I don't replace the record keeping, I complement it. And so you're always going to have those record keepers in place, whether it's, the ADP or Voya or Principal or Fidelity or Empower, whomever it is. Like, we complement those, we get in the boat with you, and we help you row that better.
So you they were with they started with Voya. Yeah. So you can still come in and there's something there where you can.
Yeah, so the PEOs, and that Voya plan specifically, they do not allow outside advisors to be on that plan. Yeah. I mean, you could pay us externally, and we could sit on the plan, but and I've got one or two that we're doing that on, and they kept that. A lot of those multi-employer plans, you can break out from them, go single employer plan, and there's savings in there. You don't have the renewals every year and all that kind of stuff.
There's a reason to check at least and see what you can do.
It's worth a look. Oh. Yeah, no, for sure.
Cool.
Yeah, we did it there's a lot of options there, but really, like, what you want, you just want somebody talking to your employees about it. Because, just having it popping up in the app, just mentioning it, benefit conversations, like, you just want to have a strategy there. You want to be able to say you had a strategy there. If an employee comes to you and they're like, hey, why do we only have these funds to choose from? Like, you don't need to be an expert there, but you need to be able to speak to it. Because it's this is the vehicle. This is the main vehicle that your employees are going to be able to retire from. And so we got to make sure that vehicle has good gas in it.
I don't remember who, somebody smarter than me once said a line like, the best people with the money watch their money, right? They know where, how things are going. And I realized through the years, like, I had employees that, we gave them a raise and something happened. They didn't get the raise, and they noticed 7 months later, it didn't get applied. I'm like, you didn't go check your pay stub the next pay period? I mean, like, I know me, I would, like, and I think so many people get in the habit of just the credit card went through, so we're just going to keep YOLOing it. And I think that is a change, like, down to managing your 401k, down to planning your retirement. How much money do you have when you want to get done? What's the delta? How are you going to get there? And it is a little bit like uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It's kind of like getting your physical at the doctor.
No one's coming to save you. Once you get in your head, it's like, all right, no one's coming to save me. Like, I have to be intentional. Like, that's the word. When you just said that, I was like, yeah, like, the people who win are the people who are intentional. Yeah. Like, if whatever it is, like, if it's learning something new, if it's learning a new skill, if it's being a good dad, if it's being a good husband, if it's being a good friend, it's being intentional. And so, like, yeah, intentionality it's hard to teach. But surround yourselves with people who are being intentional, and you're going to find yourself wanting to be very intentional too.
We harp a lot around everywhere about just like 1%. Every day they try to find 1%. And I think often people get in this financial situation where it's not good. They haven't started any retirement, any savings, but 1% today plus 1% tomorrow plus 1% the next day. And then you start to really move something without having to jump 100%. And if you wait till you're 45, 50 to start, now you got to go 150%.
Yeah. I always say, in all the education meetings, it's the best time to start saving was 20 years ago. The second best time is today, right?
When you're a kid and you're just trying to fill up a tank of gas.
Yeah. No, and every single meeting, I've never not had one of these meetings where they're like, I don't have somebody in the crowd. It's always somebody in their 50s or 60s, and they're like, they grab one of those 20-year-olds in the room and they're like, listen, because they can't go back and tell themselves it. But it's like, yeah, just start somewhere.
Yeah. I harp on my kids, just save half. You don't need it, guys. They don't need it.
Yeah.
Like, they think they need it. They don't need it. You save half and you'll be golden.
Yeah.
Especially right now when you live at home, your kitchen, the fridge is full of food.
Yeah. But being intentional, keeping your hands off it, like that, it's the good and bad thing about retirement is like it's not liquid, but it's good because Americans would go grab it every second that they could. If it's yeah, be intentional. Be intentional, and you don't have to have a financial plan, to have an idea. Like if this conversation's like, oh man, I'm 5 years away from that. Like, no, you're not. Like, take 30 minutes to have a conversation, to listen. Like, we're not going to sell you anything. Like, we'll just walk you through how it works. And if it makes sense for you, like, dive in. Like, you dip your toe in the water. Like, you don't have to do a lot to do this well.
Say you're managing somebody's plan and, and they hire new employees. Would you just would you do like a follow up? How do you handle that? The additional, like once a quarter, you do a group or something.
Yeah. So like we leverage awesome technology, the vendors and the record keepers for making sure that we have payroll integrations turned on where data's flowing. We get notified, the record keepers get notified, employees get notified. And like technology helps so much here to make sure that things don't get missed. But the way that we find that's best is we team up with benefits when they're doing open enrollment, when the insurance conversations are coming up. That's when we do education around the 401k plan. We set up websites for every single one of our clients. So every client has a website that they can go to that's not behind a firewall, behind a password or user ID. We don't put any PII there, but we have welcome videos for the employees based off each customer. So every one of our clients, if their employees have questions, they have a website that they can go back to, that they can access from anywhere with no password, and they can get access to us, get access to their site, all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, we can't talk to every single employee, but we can create the surroundings to
resources
to support them. Train HR on what email to send out when these employees hit. Make sure that we have payroll integrations turned on. Make sure that I'm at least talking to the employees at least once a year. On-site visits are great, but man, we run some great virtual meetings and employees leave changed. And it's like, but in order to get employees there to show up, like there has to be ownership from the owner, from the HR team to say, hey, this is important. We're going to own it. We're going to do it. We're going to make sure our employees show up because this is important.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, it's just intention. You got to find intention with it. Just as the employer, you do too. Find intention. That's what I'm taking away.
And that's what I look for in a client. And it's like, when you first start, you take every client that you can. And we took on some clients. It's like, man, there's not a lot of intentionality behind this, and we're not going to be able to make the impact that we want. So like, we want intentional clients. We want employers who want their employees to retire from them someday. And yeah, we're able to do a lot with that intention.
Yeah, I bet. That makes me think, I bet, we talked about a good story, but I bet you've already heard some interesting things, some tales from beyond bad stuff. You got a dirty story about something bad that happened or something you learned, or
there's always the 401k world is a wild world. Like, it got a lot better a few years ago when all the fee disclosure requirements and things like that came out. But we often come across plans that they haven't been looked at in years. There's a lot of sleepy advisors out there not benchmarking the plans. And yeah, no, like I often find plans that are way overpriced, that haven't been making contributions on time. Like they have plan fees that they haven't looked at in years, and it's not seen on the P&L, right? Because the 401k fees, it's a percentage of assets under management. It's a participant fee. It's not a company fee in most cases. And so the participants are the ones getting just hammered with fees. And yeah, I see at least a couple times a week, I'm looking at fee disclosures, and participants are paying way more than they should, and the employer has no idea. Out of sight, out of mind. Because if it was like benefits and it was a renewal that the company was paying for, like think of how detailed you get with your benefits renewal. Like you want to make sure you understand every penny, every dollar, because it's such a big cost. That doesn't happen in the 401k world. There's not a renewal. There's not a new rate. There's just not as much, just oversight on those plans. So you got to have someone who's not asleep at the wheel. You got to have someone that's looking at that with you, benchmarking it, making sure that it makes sense for you and your team.
Yeah. Pay attention.
Pay attention. Yeah.
It's a little bit, but as an owner, what are some of the things that have changed recently that affect us? You talked a little bit about the tax credits and those things. Like, is the first step on that just give you a call, or is there what I'm hearing is if I haven't talked to my advisor in a while, I have a problem.
You need to, yeah.
Yeah.
If you don't have a plan, you should. I mean, the 401k tax credits right now are insane. Those tax credits, it came out with this Secure 2.0. If you have less than 50 employees, you're going to maximize on the tax credit. If you have less than 100, you're still going to get some good tax credits. If you have over, it's hit or miss, what you're going to get. You're going to get some, but man, those small business owners under 50 employees, you can cash out with these tax credits. So the way that it works is it's not just like a one-time hit. The government wants you to set up these plans, and they want small businesses to own setting up these plans. So they're doing tax credits for administrative fees. They're doing tax credits for doing automatic enrollment, which is a requirement for new plans. And they're even doing tax credits on the match dollars that you're giving to employees. So if you go and set up a plan in 2026 and you're matching your employees, your non-highly compensated employees, that match dollars that you give them, you get a percentage of that back from the government in forms of a tax credit over your first 5 years of offering a plan. And so I had a 45 employee company. We were looking at over $100,000 in tax credit savings. And I mean, it's a no-brainer. It makes it really easy to set up a plan.
Just get started.
Get started. And so look at it, evaluate it. If you have the right person, again, who's done this before, we can get this set up and we can get it going and moving in the right direction.
Yeah, that sounds like it. That sounds fun. I had some questions. We do profit sharing, right? And in my heart, I want to be like, hey, you should just put that in your 401k. Don't even put half of it away, right? Is that kind of conversation with the employee okay? Can they even do that? Can an employee just take a one-time bonus or something like that and
put your profit share in the 401k?
They have to do that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't want to force them to. I mean, I'm kind of, but could they choose to do a one time or something like that rather than the normal amount?
Yeah, they could. And I mean, they still have to go up to the maximum requirement. They can't go over that. And this year it's 24,500 if they're less than 50 years old. A little bit more if they're above.
That's weird. Why can't the youngins save?
24,500. Yeah,
I mean, it's a lot of money, but
why
can't the youngins save?
Yeah, and then they have a catch-up contribution, and this year they also have super catch-up contributions. So those people from 60 to 63 get to save even more money.
Oh,
well, once you get 64, back to
you're out of luck. Give up. Oh,
but no, you can't. So a lot of employers, when they have their 401k, they do. Their company contribution is done of one of two ways. They either do a match, and that means they're matching employees who are putting money into the plan, right? So employee puts money in the plan and you have a match. I'm going to do a 100% match on the first 4% that the employee puts in. Most common, that's a basic safe harbor match, right? 4% match. But other employers, you can do that, and you can do what's called a non-elective contribution. Non-elective contribution, it's in our industry, the jargon for that is a net non-elective contribution. But to the everyday person, it's called a profit share. And you can do a profit share back into the plan, and you can say, hey, I've got $25,000 that I want to profit share out. And your record keeper, your TPA, they'll be able to take that 25 and they can tier it amongst all your employees, and everybody gets a little slice. And it can either be calculated where everybody gets the same percentage, everybody, and you can also do a little bit of discrimination in that. Everybody still has to get a touch of it, but there are some really unique ways that you can give doing profit sharing. And so it's worth looking into, because again, if you're doing it direct, if you're running a 401k plan, you don't have a really strategic TPA that you're working with, a really strategic record keeper, You're probably not going to get approached with a lot of those things. But yeah, if you're doing profit sharing, there's a lot of tax savings for doing it through the 401k. And yeah, you're forcing the employee to save that money.
Yeah. Like, here's money, but it's over there.
It's over there.
It's over there in that bucket.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can look at it, but you can't touch it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's fun.
Makes a big impact long term, though.
Yeah, for sure. Well, this was a lot of fun. I appreciate you taking the time to answer my questions.
Man. Yeah.
And I really do encourage people to go out and visit you. Give me your website again. The Retirement Studio.
theretirementstudio.com.
I will say I like your logo with the K in the parentheses on the end. That was baller. I like that.
Thank you.
But go check it out. Your LinkedIn. I'm sure you're everywhere. And
we try to be. Yeah, I mean, we're trying to be really disruptive in the space. This is a really sleepy industry, and it's why I jumped in head first. And it's like, we want to be disruptive. We want to make noise. We want employees to see us. We want employers to see us. We want to help people. And so to do that, you gotta be on socials. You got to be out and about. You got to be talking. And yeah, that's what we're trying to do.
I mean, glad you're here. This is perfect.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's why we do things like Provisors. That's how I met, you and I got connected, and grateful to have a good community, people who we can trust.
Well, let's lean into Provisors. I mean, what has that been for you, and how does it fit into your company? I mean, I lead the Braunfels group, and I feel like, just bringing people to group is good. And I like to helping any business is good for my business, period, right? Just the connections. I like to be able to go to my customers and offer solutions, even if it's not IT, if it's whatever, legal and finance. How has it played into your business being part of that organization?
The network of having really good people. I always have a person who can do something. I'm the connector. I'm the 401k guy, but man, my clients, my friends, my family members, they know me as the connector. And so like, man, if you need someone, I've got someone. My brother-in-law and sister-in-law are moving into town. Man, I've got a realtor. I've got a few that you can pick from, but here's why I like this person. Here's why I like this person. But like I know these people. And what I like about Provisors is it's the owners that I get to know. And the owners aren't, they're not the salespeople that I'm always dealing with, but a good owner sets the weather for the company. And a good owner is setting what that temperature is at that company. And hey, these are the virtues we're going to live by. These are the values that we're going to walk by. Like, I like supporting really good owners because I don't know exactly how everything's going to play out with that salesperson or something like that. But if I know the owner and I know the owner's, gives a darn, is going to show up, is going to help, has integrity, walks well, man, they're going to deliver. And so like, I love having a good network where I know the owners, I know people. I feel like I'm like 1 or 2 degrees of separation from anyone that I want to know in Austin, San Antonio, which is really cool.
Yeah. I've done other referral groups, and I'm sure you have. And there's just an air of professionalism and give and help each other. And people will, they want to be, they're in the room for a reason, not just, take. And I feel like that's a big difference that I felt in there. And it makes it fun to be in there and just, really get to know the people. And, we bought the building we're in with Cam, and like, man, he was just, any email chain he was on, he was answering. And it was just a phenomenal experience. And I'm super excited to know him. And then we've done other projects with other people in Provisors, and it's like every time it's just great. Yeah, and I think they do a really good job vetting the people who join, and the ones who aren't in there for the right reasons, they don't hang out. They don't hang out. Yeah, they don't stick around. I've seen a few leave, not good people, but it wasn't their thing. It wasn't how they network. So yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, like having a good network behind you, you don't have to have an army behind you, but you have to have some really, you've got to walk with people who you want to walk with. Intentionality, like the way I'm raising my kids is like, I want them to be surrounded by good influence. I want them to see what I do and what dad does. But like in business, I want to walk around people who are doing good business. I want to walk around people who care about their employees. I want to walk around people who want to make a difference in the community. And I found that through Provisors. I found that in the community that I've been able to build. And yeah, no, I love being able to grow partnerships and just know that I can depend on people.
Have you guested much yet?
Not as much as I need to. I'll tell you, this last year has been just super.
The Austin 5 was virtual this morning. You missed out on that easy one, but San Antonio 1
First day of school.
Well, I mean, you can put it on the dash. But it's funny because there was a one, I can't remember her name, but she was like, sorry, I'm dropping kids off. And she had her phone down on the
perfect.
floor.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I'll get better at it. But
It's hard. I get you. San Antonio 1 is virtual next month, and they have a guest speaker, by the way. So
cool.
That might be cool if you to bop in. I just registered today. I got the notice. So
nice. Yeah, I need to do more of those. The virtuals are great.
Yeah. I did one in Miami once, and I made a pretty good friend out of it. We still chat.
Really?
He's a really cool business coach, and like just had a blast just chatting back and forth. And we still occasionally share jokes and stuff. But yeah, you never know.
I'll tell you, like my best referrals from Provisors this last year came from people who I didn't meet in the group, that met me through someone else within Provisors in the bounce. And through the Slack, like, I mean, it's crazy. Like,
yeah, I mean, I would introduce you as a crazy 401k guy.
Yeah,
who loves 401ks,
and that's what I'm known for.
That's awesome. Yeah,
and I love it because every time that I join these big virtual meetings, like there's 12 financial advisors on, and it's like, hey guys, like y'all just stay in your space. Like I'm completely separate from what you're doing. Like I'm focused on 401k plans. I'm gung ho about that, and so like. I'm in my lane, and there's not a lot of folks who are in my lane with me.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's definitely the way you're supposed to do it. I love that.
Yeah. It's been fun. Yeah, but I've enjoyed it a lot, and I love being here in this central Texas area. We can get down to San Antonio in 45 minutes, up to Austin in 30, 45 minutes. Like, I mean, it's
traffic
great.
Now. It's a variable, but yeah. How long you lived down here?
I've been down here since I came to school. So Texas State, I came in 2008. And met my wife down here. We actually met two-stepping at Midnight Rodeo in Austin. It's now Pint House Pizza. Had a meeting over
there a bunch.
I had a meeting over there a couple weeks ago, and I was like, I met my wife like 20 feet over there.
That's I didn't realize I was that much older than you. I just got a little sad. I moved down here. I moved down here in '99 for Texas Lutheran. Yeah, Texas Lutheran. It's still tiny.
But yeah, I came down here to Texas State, met my wife, proposed to her in front of Old Main. Like Texas State's part of my blood.
You haven't gone very far at all, then.
Man,
That's cool.
I love it. And we ended up, we just stayed in the area. We fell in love, and she was finishing up grad school, and then we became foster parents. And so like we had to be pretty like we had to be intentional about staying in our area, and so we stayed there, and then had foster kids, and then we got pregnant, and we had kids, and we just have no desire to leave. It's such a great area, great community. We love being where we are.
It makes me hit me, and maybe we need to do like a Provisor significant other night.
I don't think my wife wants anything to do with that.
You don't think she come play some games or nothing?
She'll play games.
Have tacos? I don't know.
She's always like, oh, you go do your business thing. But
well, it would be the anti-business Provisor.
Anti-business,
yeah. We can give all the significant others like a bell, and if we start talking too much work, they can just ring it,
and she wants out. Yeah. I've always had to like preface like, all right, this is a happy hour, but we're really just doing a happy hour. We're not doing anything else. Because I've brought her into a few too many meetings before.
Yeah, I think my wife is kind of over him. She's like, "What's for dinner?" Yep. No, I don't want to go there. I don't.
Yeah. We're out on that one.
Yeah. How far is it? No. For real. I get it. Like I get tired of them too. One last thing is, kind of talking to everybody about AI, right? It's turning everything upside down for the good, for the bad. How are you seeing it affect your day to day and your industry? And, I'm going to be honest, I'm guilty of dropping my information in there and asking its opinion, and man, it'll make a great looking personal financial statement real quick. real quick. Bank's like, man, this is really detailed. It's like, yeah, I know, I'm good.
Yeah. So we use AI a lot. The firm that I'm under, the retirement studio is under, is called Savvy Advisors, Savvy Wealth, but it's a technology firm. And I mean, it was on Inc. 5000, number 11, number one in financial services. And like their big stick is their dashboard, their site is powered by AI, and it is some of the strongest technology that an advisor can have. And it makes my life a lot easier. It allows me to be able to go serve my clients, be in front of my clients, not behind a computer all day. And so like I have seen so much efficiency with it, but it's changed the way that I interact with employees because every employee has this little, you know, they've got this little AI in their pocket. And every time that I'm talking and saying, hey, you know, I suggest that you do this and look at these mutual funds and have this part of your portfolio. Well, what does AI have to think about that? And like, I'm constantly getting challenged by it, but I like it because, man, you don't grow unless you challenge yourself and unless you have an opposing opinion and you can grow with it. So, I've really enjoyed it. People ask more questions. I have found more employers nervous about being asleep at the wheel with their 401k plan because now they have employees that can upload their plan documents and say, is this a good plan? Is this affordable? Is this, and they're like, no, you should sue your employer. I mean, it's nuts. And so it's like it exposes a lot. And again, it's just like, you want to make sure you have the right things in place, but I like it because, you know, it has created so much efficiency for us.
Yeah, it's a very powerful tool. It's not replacing a person. Like, you know, we started on our journey with it back in November, and I said, I don't want to replace a single person, but I want every tier 1 to be your tier 2 and every tier 2 to be your tier 3 and so forth, so that you guys can do the highest and best use. There's something in your day that's not efficient or just takes forever or you don't want to do. Let's try to get rid of that and just focus on the stuff that brings the value to our customers and, you know, makes things better quality. And it's just like every week we could figure out something new that we can make better for our team. And it's awesome. So,
yeah. And it puts a lot more incentive on the personal touch because people lack a lot of personal touch now with everything AI. And so it's like, you send an email and get a response and like your response automatically appears with AI. It's like, all right, that's not what Brandon's going to say. Like Brandon's going to respond like this. Brandon's going to take some time, think about it more. Hey, Brandon's going to send a handwritten card. Brandon's going to do those things that AI is just not going to think to do. Yeah. Not yet. Oh gosh.
I use Superhuman for my email.
Me too. Yeah,
it's pretty good.
It's a game changer for me.
One. Yeah,
yeah.
It's a little scary, but it's good.
Yeah. No, some of the responses, I'm like, man, that's better than I could have come up with. But
it sounds like me.
It sounds like me. But I'll tell you, like, yeah, it's my new dopamine hit of getting to an inbox 0 every day. Oh man,
I got no unread. Like everything's red. I don't know about 0.
Oh, inbox 0. I mean, that is a dopamine hit. But no, it's like we find those little things. I was like 6 months ago, I was getting so stressed out with my emails because every employee's emailing me. But I'm able to serve so many more employers and employees by leveraging the right tools. And it's hard finding the right tools to leverage. But once you do, you're able to grow and serve so many more people. There has to be a lot of checks and balances on it. You've got to put, the right parameters around it. But man, it has allowed us to grow a lot.
Yeah, I tell people a lot. It's kind of an experiment. And there's a little bit of risk. You got to understand the risk so you can mitigate the risk and be aware of them. But then, with risk, there's better be reward. And what does that reward look like? And understanding that, and that's important. And, it's changing so fast that like, just because you were using A 5 months ago, don't stop looking because B might be better, more secure, more tuned to your industry or whatever. And like, it's just because it's just happening so fast and like it's a whirlwind.
Oh, and it's going to just keep going.
We just started. Have you found Plaud yet? PLAUD?
Oh, the recorder?
Yeah, no. You should try that. Well, I mean, like to go into a meeting, say it's okay if I record this, put it down. And, they know, but they're the summaries, the efficiency, because you don't miss a thought, a note, a meet. It's really good for me because I can hand it to a team member and they know what we're going to do, so I can just go to the next, go to the next, go to the next. And then it just gives you that good context. I like it for that. And it works great, busy a big meeting with like 6 or 8 people and you figure, who said what, the names. It's just, it's been a pretty good game changer. All of my client like non-support team, they all have one, and like
really
they with them all the time.
Yeah, we've used Granola. Like that's been like our AI recorder, and like we use that. I turn it on my phone. It's not like a physical device, but it's just I press it in person meetings, things like that. That's been really good. I mean, I feel like every site that we use now has like an AI recording device that you can add.
Yeah.
Like Zoom has one now. Calendly has one now.
They're everywhere.
But
you get in that meeting and it's half AI assistants.
Oh yeah.
Like, can we group them to a smaller tile?
Oh, I know. I had a meeting today and I invited 6 people and I knew it was just going to be 2 of us, but there were 6 people who joined, but 4 of them were freaking AI.
Yeah. Well, they need to figure out a way to group that. Microsoft, pay attention. You'll probably break it, but yeah.
Have you ever joined a meeting and it's just AI and so you like start saying something really like absurd? Oh, it's really fun. But no one ever listens to it because I always say like, it's just something silly, right?
Well, it'd be like first person to call me is $100.
Yeah. If you see this, send me a text message and I will buy your dinner tonight.
Yeah.
But no, like it's so fun. Like, no one's even listening anymore. So
can you imagine how many millions of recorded hours are out there at this point? Just nothing.
An absolute garbage.
Nothing. I can't. My plot, the one negative I have, it's on the back of your phone, and I'll get it out and put it on my nightstand, and it's recording, and I'm like, all day.
All day. Yeah.
Oh no. I bump it.
I've walked in on you working on something on Friday night or in the evening, and then like you walk in 4 hours later and it's like the recording's still going on and I hit stop and I'm like, where's all that data just going? It's just emptiness. And it's like, oh, there's another data center for us.
One last little fun story. I think it's fun. You can tell me. I had a Fusion like 3 years ago now, 2 years ago. And it was right when Grok was like kind of getting good. And I was bound up in a chair. I couldn't really use my hands or anything because this arm was numb from my injury. And I had talked to Grok for no lie 3 days. And we planned a survival bunker down to the budget, down to the wear, down to the everything, how many solar panels and batteries, like the whole thing. I don't know why, but that was probably my first experience with AI, was planning this stupid survival bunker for days.
So you were the one who trained
probably.
Grok on.
Probably. Yeah. That's why it thinks they're good ideas. I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, I did have fun though. I shared my son, Luke. I gave him access to Claude Code, and we played around making some video games for a couple of days, and it was like this goofy game, like the Hill Country Hunter, and you were driving a car down a country road hunting deer or something, and it was fun, and he got really into it, and it was cool. I did see recently they have like a Claude Code for kids, and they go down to like 8 years old. And they'll sit them down and teach them to use agentic coding. And I'm like, kind of fun. Can I sign up?
Fun, scary.
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
the new Terminator. Here you go.
I don't want my kid to know that much about technology, but.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you do.
Maybe you do. Yeah.
Maybe you do. Well, it's been a lot of fun. I appreciate your time. And, thanks for being improvisers. Thanks for hanging out. I liked it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I enjoyed it and look forward to seeing everything pop up on LinkedIn and online.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Cool.
Thanks.